Pioneer High School in San Jose, California is the site of the Central Coast Section Division III football semifinal, and we're pleased to bring it to you here on the NFHS Network. We are high school. Tonight's semifinal matchup will bring the St. Ignatius Wildcats of the West Catholic Athletic League against the Pioneer Mustangs of the Blossom Valley Athletic League's Mount Hamilton Division. Philip Kern alongside my broadcast partner Joe Biagini. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Whether or not you've done your Black Friday shopping, it's all right. We hope that this semifinal matchup will bring a nice diversion before you hit your Christmas list once again. The St. Ignatius Wildcats making the trip from San Francisco, California, and they are all too familiar with the postseason grind. They made it all the way to the Division III title game just a year ago before losing to the eventual champion Aptos Mariners. So no doubt they will be looking to reach their fourth consecutive title game appearance, which is sort of the norm right now under current head coach John Regalia. They do have two titles to their credit under his leadership, a 2012 Open Division title as well as a Division III title in 2011. They were able to get here with a very good opening round victory against Monterey, 28-21. So they are used to some very, very tight games. Meanwhile, for the Pioneer Mustangs, they had a very, very strong season. They come into this game with a 9-2 mark. They finished second in the Mount Hamilton division of the Blossom Valley Athletic League, and they had a very, very strong opening statement with a 56-21 victory over Saratoga, in which they had great play from all phases of their team. And Joe, really when you look at both of these teams, you got really a couple different stories here. St. Ignatius, of course, they are familiar with postseason success. Meanwhile, the Pioneer Mustangs looking to bring home their first ever football title in Central Coast Section play. And they have all the elements in their favor. They have the home crowd. They have the home field advantage as well. And, of course, being the number one seed in the division. So all those settings are there. We're just waiting to see if they can take the opportunity.
Absolutely. Obviously, both of these teams coming in here at this point have had long seasons, just like any team that's still playing at this point in their season this year. Pioneers got to be pretty excited having this semifinal game at home. Their coach Eric Perry was very excited about his team and about the positive outlook he has not only this season but moving forward. This Pioneer team has a chance to do something they haven't done in a long time, and obviously that's something that's very exciting for their program. St. Ignatius, coming in from the West Catholic League, had a pretty tough schedule this season. So yeah, a couple different stories this year. But I feel like whatever team can gain the momentum early and really just kind of overcome the nerves that they may be experiencing in this matchup is the one that's going to get that early lead and hopefully be able to ride it out here. There's a lot of really exciting players that we're looking at for both of these teams. Zach Silva was highly praised by his coach Eric Perry for Pioneer. 30 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, over 2,200 yards this season with a 66% completion percentage. That's an exciting player that I'm looking forward to watch. But St. Ignatius kind of being chiseled in that tough league that they're in, has obviously got a lot of good experience this season. So it'll be an exciting matchup to see the two different styles go head-to-head to see who comes out on top.
As you are looking at midfield, they have just completed the coin toss, so Pioneer will receive the first half kickoff. But if this sounds familiar to a lot of St. Ignatius fans, it should. They were in a similar situation just a year ago where they actually went to Burlingame to face the number one seed Burlingame Panthers at the time, and that Panthers team was actually undefeated before St. Ignatius sent them home on their way to the title game last year. So St. Ignatius is very familiar of being in this role. On paper, they may look to be the underdog just purely by seeding, but they have been through this before, and they will continue their postseason success. We will step away for just a moment for the national anthem, and we will bring you the kickoff of the CCS Division III semifinal game here in San Jose, California.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise and remove
in something a little bit unusual. We are actually seeing both teams come out to the field to shake each other's hands and in a show of good sportsmanship. The national anthem has been played. We are set to go here at Pioneer High School in San Jose, California for this highly anticipated CCS Division III semifinal game, of course, between the St. Ignatius Wildcats from San Francisco and, of course, the hometown Pioneer Mustangs of San Jose. Philip Kern, Joe Biagini, and the rest of the NFHS Network crew, glad you are able to join us tonight. And in case you are just jumping in with all the postseason action, tonight's game very, very important because one of these teams will be punching their ticket to the Division III title game. Of course, their opponent will also be decided tonight. The other matchup that is taking place to decide their opponent, it will be taking place as well between the Burlingame Panthers and Aptos Mariners. And we actually had a chance to watch the Aptos Mariners earlier this year, and they, of course, are looking to defend their Division III title and will want a chance to do so. St. Ignatius going with the all-white uniforms tonight, white helmets, white everything really with the red numbers and blue outline. Pioneer Mustangs going with the white helmets, black uniforms with the blue numbers and white outline, and the white pants as well. St. Ignatius kicker Andrew Ferrero will have the honors to do the opening kick. And for Pioneer, Louis Colum is one of the deep men for the return. Louis Colum, of course, the sophomore of the year from the Mount Hamilton division, has been a very, very key contributor for this Mustangs team. Kickoff going from right to left, and we are underway. This kick will go into the end zone, and it will be a touchback. That was Adrian Cervantes watching the ball go into the end zone. And for the first time tonight, we will see this Pioneer Mustang offense led by number 5, Zach Silva, who was actually a first-team member of the All-Mount Hamilton Division Blossom Valley Athletic League just a year ago, and he had quite a fine showing against Saratoga last week. 16 of 26 for 257 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he will be the trigger man for this potent Mustang offense. Silva in more of a shotgun formation. Handoff is going to the Mustang running back. And it takes a swarm of Wildcat defenders to bring him down. That is Raul Villatilui Gasanoa. Probably one of the longest last names I have ever seen in the CCS, but he is running very tough. That was a gain of about 7. And the Mustang offense, they will want to push the tempo. You can already see going no huddle in this one. Silva is back in the shotgun. Sends a man in motion, and that is Roberts, and he's going to take the carry to the far sideline. He's going to have a first down as he gets dragged down to around the 40-yard line. And Roberts, they're going to use him in a whole bunch of different ways. He actually was the top receiver for the Mustangs last week. 8 catches, 161 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So he is a very valuable weapon for the Mustangs.
Good burst around the outside for Roberts. Was able to prevent St. Ignatius from containing him. You see a guy like that kind of speed, and I'm not surprised that they use him in a variety of ways.
Silva with the play action, the roll out, and the pass is dropped. That pass intended for Robert Berrigan, as they were trying to go for more of a read option look against this Wildcats defense. The Wildcats will be playing more of a 4-3 cover 2 style of defense. They really won't be going too far from, but the two guys we want to watch on their defense is Peter Alamam and Freddie Gaines. They both had very nice showings against Monterey just a week ago. Freddie Gaines with an interception. Peter Alamam leading the team in tackles with 6 last week. Of course, had a fumble recovery of his own. 2nd and 10 now from their own 39-yard line. And the handoff up the middle. Via Latula Gasanoa. That went a little better the second time around. He goes for about 5 yards, so a 3rd and 5 there.
Good luck with that one. We might just revert to calling him by number 42
it's
for most of them.
It's a rhythm name. It's a rhythm name, absolutely. 3rd and 5. And some movement on the line of scrimmage. I think that was some flinching there by the Pioneer offensive line. Of course, all the Wildcats defenders pointing that direction. We will get the call from our officiating crew. And a false start it is, so that will back them up to the 39-yard line, a 3rd and 10 for the Mustangs.
When we talked to Eric Perry before the game, he said the St. Ignatius defense is very confident in what they do. They don't do a lot of different things. They're confident in the talent of their players, and they just kind of stick to their formula, the bend, not break type style, and see if that works for them tonight.
Three-wide look here for the Mustangs. Silva drops back from shotgun. A pass to Roberts is complete, and he fights forward but doesn't quite get enough for the first down. He's probably going to be about a yard short. But you can already see Zach Silva with some great touch on those throws, and they're actually going to give him a favorable spot. It will be a first down for the Mustangs. I didn't think they got quite enough, but they will grant it to him. So a gain of 11 there for Roberts.
You can tell Zach Silva's a very experienced quarterback, very decisive, getting the ball out of his hand quickly right when the receiver gets to the open space.
Silva will drop back to throw again. The pass is complete to Roberts. They're already looking his way early and often. That's a gain of about 9. So Elijah Roberts, he, like we said, had 8 catches last week. He's already got 2 on this drive. They're going to utilize him very heavily.
Yeah, guess who? Matt Klein and Peter Alemam combined for those last 2 tackles. Both of them just having a little trouble containing Roberts and getting him down on the first contact. He's been able to spin out of it and get some extra yards that have helped keep their drive alive so far.
2nd and 2 now for the Mustangs. They are in Wildcats territory here, the opening drive of the CCS Division III semifinal. Silva's getting some pressure. He gets away from it. He is going to throw deep, and it is going to be intercepted. What a play there by Dominic Burke, a All-West Catholic second-team defender from a year ago. And he tried to force the issue to Lewis Kalum, who was one of the top offensive playmakers of the Mustangs, but a turnover already forced by the Wildcats.
What a great catch by Burke. That was a really athletic play to be able to, kind of jostle with the receiver, then spin your head around, pick up the ball, and come down with it. As an impressive play, and you can see just the experience on this defense and the confidence they have of sending their guys, lining them up one-on-one and letting their defenders go make a play.
Now for the first time, we will see the Wildcats offense led by quarterback Ryan Hagfeldt. 2-year starter for this Wildcat squad. He's actually making his 25th consecutive start at the varsity level. And the handoff goes up the middle. I believe that was Brian Vollert with the carry. Doesn't get much on that play, gain of about 1. They'll be running against a Mustang defense that will employ a few different looks. They'll rotate from either a 3-3-5 or a standard 3-4 defense, depending on what the situation calls for.
Eric Perry said he would just have to do a good job of making sure he calls the right plays in on the defense, depending on the situation.
2nd and 9, another handoff.
Number 18.
And that was again to Brian Vollert. So a gain of about 2 on that one. That will make it a 3rd and 6.
Vollert is their workhorse, 9 touchdowns, 519 yards this season. He's Mr. Reliable, 5'10 senior from, 195 pounds. Very confident in giving him the ball as much as possible.
Of course, they've had to rely on a running back by committee. Of course, they have to deal with the graduation of very talented senior Elijah Dale, who had some great moments here for this Wildcat squad. And now here they are in a 3rd and 6. Hagfeldt will drop back. He's going to throw to the far sideline, and that is a catch. But great open field tackle by the Pioneer defender. That was Chad Johnstone on the catch. But well short of the first down marker. And Elijah Roberts, who had such a big hand on that first drive for Pioneer, makes the tackle. And that will force a 3 now for the Wildcats.
Elijah Roberts doing it on both sides early in this game. He's shown the ability to get some extra yards. He's also shown the ability to prevent some.
And so now Andrew Ferrero will be back to punt. And Lewis Kalum is back to receive the punt. Kalum will wait for a fair catch, and not a very good punt there by Ferrero. So it gives the Mustangs very, very favorable field position here on their second drive of this CCS Division III semifinal.
You're watching live coverage of the Central Coast Section football playoffs on the NFHS Network. NFHSnetwork.com/CIFCCS is your destination for the most comprehensive coverage of Central Coast Section playoff and championship action. From live games to full game replays to highlights, it's all here at the NFHSnetwork.com.
Silva takes the snap. This is going to be a end around to Kalum, and met right at the line of scrimmage there.
Number 4, Louis Colomb, the ball carrier.
And that looked to be
Tackle made by number 17,
Rob Meager.
Rob Maher.
I beg your pardon. He makes the stop right at the line of scrimmage. A gain of nothing for Lewis Kalum.
I'm really looking to watch Brandon Keating tonight. He's the one offensive lineman that has a chance to play at the next level. He's going to be the anchor of that offensive line to get some space for this shotgun wing T offense.
2nd and 10 now for the Mustangs. Silva drops back to throw. That pass batted down at the line of scrimmage. So that will create a 3rd and 10. A great play there by 42 Frank Jefferson. Just got his hand up and batted that one away.
Frank Jefferson, that's a good football name.
It's like he was tailor-made for the sport. Just under 7 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
10 at the 43.
Already a turnover created by the Wildcats defense, but nothing to show for it. Silva back in the shotgun, 4 wide set. He will drop back to throw. Steps up in the pocket and can't go anywhere. Guess who? Frank Jefferson creates the pressure and gets the sack, and a 3 and out for the Mustangs.
Very athletic play by Jefferson. Really made sure that he stayed disciplined. Didn't allow the quarterback, Silva, to sneak out in through a hole in the pocket, and made sure to bring him down immediately.
So now this will bring the punt team out for the Mustangs. And just a horrible punt right there. Goes off the side of his foot, but it takes a good Pioneer bounce to about the 20-yard line. But you can see the disappointment on Tyler Hamill's face. He was shaking his head as he was getting that punt away, but luckily for him, he got a nice bounce in the process. So the Wildcats will start at around their own 23-yard line, and obviously hoping for some better success.
Yeah, that was kind of a strange the way that the ball came off of his foot, but got the good spin on it. Maybe he was doing that on purpose.
Now here come the Wildcats in their standard split back formation. And the handoff goes right up the middle to Vollert. And he has got some open field. And he's going to get to the end zone. An opening touchdown for the St. Ignatius Wildcats.
Wow, he was untouched up the middle. I mean, hit the hole hard. He was aggressive. Didn't have to even make a move, and then outran Timmy Garrity into the end zone. That was impressive.
How about a 77-yard run for Vollert to give the Wildcats the first score of the game? One play drive. That's some instant offense.
Absolutely. That was impressive, the speed on that too. And then the smart play to make that little cut last 10 yards or so. Make sure to keep the defenders off of his tail.
Extra point lined up by Ferrero. It is up and good. So just around the 6-minute mark here in the first quarter, St. Ignatius redeems itself after the 3 and out on their first possession, and a 77-yard touchdown run by Brian Vollert gives the Wildcats an early 7-0 lead.
To purchase a DVD keepsake of today's event, click on the blue Get the DVD button directly under your event video player, or click the Buy a DVD button on the top right-hand corner of the NFHS Network website. Make today's memories last a lifetime with a DVD from the NFHS Network. We are high school.
So we are getting ready for the Wildcats kickoff. We are sitting on the Pioneer bleacher side, and we are already dealing with a stunned Mustang faithful after they saw Brian Vollert gash the Mustang defense right up the middle for 77 yards to give the Wildcats the opening score. And definitely giving the St. Ignatius crowd something to cheer about, and a shot of confidence there to the St. Ignatius sideline.
Yeah, a play like that's got to be, demoralizing for a team. I mean, not only, it wasn't really feel like it was earned by the offense.
Ferrero's kickoff will go into the end zone, so that will be a touchback. So the Mustangs will start at their own 20-yard line. And when going into this game, you were mentioning our conversation we had with head coach Eric Perry. We mentioned to him how it's been so rare that we see a quarterback throw for over 2,000 yards at any point in the season. And that's exactly what Zach Silva has done. We were remarking about how his touchdown to interception ratio was so impressive. He only threw 5 interceptions all season long coming into this one, but he threw a bad one right at the first drive of the game. Now, thankfully, the Mustang defense held up on that first drive, but wasn't able to do so. And here is the handoff. Here he comes to the near sideline, and he's going to get dragged down. That was via Latulega Sanoa.
Number 29, Adrian.
That's Cervantes, I beg your pardon.
Tackle made by number 7, Matt Klein.
Cervantes with a gain of 2 on that one.
Gain of 2 on the play.
And Cervantes is a guy we're going to be watching because he actually led the Mustangs in rushing last week. 112 yards on 14 carries and 2 touchdowns.
I believe he led them on the season in yards and touchdowns with 7.
So 2nd and 8 now for the Mustangs. Looking for a response to the opening score. And I believe that's Cervantes on the handoff again. He's met right at the line by about 3 Wildcats defenders.
Peter Katz of the Wildcats made a good tackle there. Just made sure he stood him up, stopped his momentum. It's always impressive to see a defensive back, especially a safety, come up there and make a solid stop like that.
3rd and 7.
So now with that 1 yard gain officially with that spot, it will be 3rd and 7. Man in motion there for the Mustangs. Silva, play action. He's going to drop back, throw near sideline. In and out of the hands of Roberts.
Silva's pass intended for
and
number
so
7,
that
Roberts
will force a 3 and out, and that will bring on the Mustangs punt
Defending
unit.
on the play, number 7, Matt Klein.
Good effort on that attempt. Just a little high. The St. Ignatius rush was getting close to Silva on that one. He kind of had to sidestep before he launched that one. Kind of took a little bit of his accuracy away from that. And that's what a high-pressured, confident defense like the Wildcats have will do to you.
Now that will be Hamill back to punt. And a much better kick. And the fair catch will be called by Freddie Gaines. And he's going to let that bounce over his head. Not a bad bounce there, and that will be downed at the Wildcats' 40-yard line. And that's where St. Ignatius will take over. Not too sure if you can replicate a one-play 77-yard drive, but I'm sure the Wildcats will definitely take that. And if you are the Mustangs right now, you have to be a little bit concerned that if they do strike for a second touchdown, that it could be panic time right now for Pioneer.
Yeah, they definitely don't want that. I mean, there's always a positive and negative to a big play like that. On one hand, it's bad because of the consequences of a big play for a score, but on the other hand, it doesn't mean that they're consistently beating your defense.
Here's a handoff to Vollard up the middle, and a good gain there. And he breaks some tackles and gets through to the Pioneer side of the field, and that will be a first down. But what you're seeing right now is a lot of motion in the backfield for the Wildcats, and the Mustangs are having a hard time picking up the ball carrier.
The size of the St. Ignatius line is really allowing this offense to play downhill. And these holes that are being pushed out in front of them, really allowing their running backs to be aggressive to the hole. They don't have to sit back there and make too many decisions on where they're going to cut and just kind of hit that hole, and it opens up through these arm tackles of the Pioneer defense.
Handoff once again going around to the far sideline. Some great defense there by Pioneer. And Xavier Tharp took the handoff there and didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. So mark that as a loss of 1. That'll make it a 2nd and 11 for St. Ignatius.
Loss of 1 on the play brings up 2nd down and 11.
And I think perhaps the Mustangs are hoping that behind the line tackle may be the start of something.
Good pursuit by Aries Johnson to kind of contain the attempt around the edge. It's always important for these end defenders and defensive backs to make sure they don't get to that edge, use their speed.
Johnson, of course, led the team in sacks with 5 last year. Hagfeldt will drop back. He's going to look deep down the middle of the field and just barely overthrows his intended target. That was Dylan Elder. He had the defender beat, but Hagfeldt put a little too much on him.
Yeah, out of his hand, it looked a little too far. Elder did a great job of reaching out and extending as far as he possibly could to try to, make contact or try to tip that ball to himself. That was a well-designed play, though. They ran the same play as the previous one to the opposite side. Play action, well executed, just couldn't quite finish it.
3rd and 11 now for this Wildcats offense. They're going with a 3-wide set. Hagfeldt in the shotgun. He's going to look to the far sideline, and he's got a catch there for his intended target. That's a first down for Danny Conte, the team's leading receiver. on the year. In fact, for Conte, 44 catches, 415 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And really didn't play a whole lot for this Wildcats team a year ago, but has really come on strong and has become a very, very reliable target for Hagfeldt.
Well, Hagfeldt displayed a very good arm there. I'm sure he doesn't want to be outdone by Zach Silva in this game. Got a lot of really good protection by that line that was being so efficient in the run blocking earlier in this drive.
This moves the chains now for the Wildcats, and they hand it back to Vollard. And they're going to him very, very early so far, and he is already nearing 100 yards on the evening, and that's a gain of 5 on that play.
Well, the way this game is going so far, St. Ignatius is pretty much in total control. You can see their confidence coming out to play here. They're really kind of manhandling this Pioneer defense so far.
This makes it 2nd and 5, 2 backs in the backfield. They send a man in motion, and again the handoff is to Vollard. He shakes a couple of tackles, but is brought down not too far in front of the line of scrimmage, but it does make it a 3rd and short for the Wildcats. We're going to call it a gain, a 3rd and 1. And Vollard, again, not just showing speed, but very, very slippery as well. And that creates a 3rd and 1.
Smith and Matar teamed up to bring him down on that one. They're definitely swarming. They're definitely gang tackling these runners. It's just Vollard's making a couple good moves, keep his body center of gravity low.
That's an easy 1st down pickup right there for St. Ignatius. They're going with a different ball carrier. That was Rob Maher.
Number 17, Rob Maher, the ball carrier.
Rob Maher with the 1st down carry. So that moves the chains. And like you said, the Wildcats look to be in total control right now.
1st and 10 at the 19.
And they are executing their game plan exactly the way they want. 1st and 10 now. The Wildcats in the Pioneer red zone. Hagfeldt will drop back near sideline. The pass is caught by Conte. He doesn't get much further as the Mustangs will gang tackle him. But that will be a gain of about 6 or 7. That makes it a 2nd and short. So the Wildcats continue to drive as we are nearing the end of this 1st quarter, where the Pioneer faithful haven't had much to cheer about so far. They had a good-looking opening drive that was thwarted by Dominic Burke, who created the turnover with an interception. Now, the Wildcats were not able to convert off that turnover, but they have been able to drive on this Mustang defense, and they are continuing to do so here. 2nd and 3. And some movement at the line of scrimmage. I think we may have a false start here on the Wildcats.
You know, the Pioneer offense talked about, or Coach Eric Perry talked about their offense and how they wanted to be up-tempo, how they wanted to keep putting pressure on the defense. But the way that the game is developing so far, St. Ignatius is really kind of employing that game plan a little bit better. They've definitely had these well-designed plays that show the good game plan by the coaching staff of John Regalia. And it's impressive to see them just being able to kind of put the ball in different people's hands and show how many different ways they can move the chains in this offense.
That call actually going against Pioneer. That was encroachment, so 1st and goal now for the Wildcats. Handoff goes to Vollard. He tries to slip through the Mustang defense and will. And he gives the St. Ignatius Wildcats their 2nd touchdown of the quarter. And he just made that look easy.
Pretty good game for him so far. That's an impressive run. Again, almost more impressive than their score earlier. But Vollard does a really good job of keeping his legs churning. He keeps his center of gravity low. He's got that good forward lean. And that makes it a lot easier for him to kind of take those quick little side steps and avoid just enough of the defensive players to be able to punch it into the end zone.
Ferrero is there to kick the extra point. This one is up, and it is good.
Extra point attempt
and that gives St. Ignatius a 14-0 lead with just a little under a minute left in this 1st quarter. And if you're the Pioneer Mustangs right now, this is not the start you envisioned, especially with how well that 1st drive was going. They seem to be really getting their momentum going. They were driving the field in chunks, but that turnover created by Dominic Burke just seemed to really change everything very early.
Yeah, that could turn out to be a huge play in this game. Obviously, it was early, but the consequence of that is, all the momentum in St. Ignatius' favor and 2 touchdowns in a row unanswered. But I feel like for Pioneer to get back into this game, the Silva, Elijah Roberts connection is going to have to get heated up here pretty quickly.
That Pioneer offense, which prides itself on balance, they may need to change their approach a little bit. Tempo for them is not going to be an issue, so they can get down the field in a hurry, but something's got to get clicking for them early before this game gets out of hand. Ferrero's kick goes the other way, and Pioneer's just going to watch us go into the end zone. So 3 kickoffs and 3 touchbacks for St. Ignatius' kicker Andrew Ferrero, who has quite a leg on him, as you've already seen.
I was watching both of these kickers in pregame, and they were definitely making it look easy. Almost 50-yard warm-up kicks were being made. So I don't know if the score is going to dictate the necessity of that later in this game, but they definitely, it's nice to have that luxury.
Pioneer takes the field, and the handoff goes right up the middle. They try to spread out this St. Ignatius defense. And that time, that was via Latuligasenoa. That's about 3 yards on that play, so 2nd and 7. Most likely this will be the last play of the first quarter. What is amounted to a bit of a disaster right now for Pioneer. Silva takes the snap from shotgun. Pass complete to Roberts. He's going to try and turn upfield. He may have something towards the near sideline. He is in a foot race with Dominic Burke. 30, tries to cut back inside, and he's knocked out of bounds near the 20-yard line. But there's the big play that Pioneer was looking for. That Silva to Roberts connection working its magic yet again, and Pioneer has some life.
Peter Alamam and Dominic Burke, good job on the pursuit there to finally catch Roberts, but not after a significant gain. And like I said, Eric Perry said they got to establish the run, but they may need a couple big plays like that to get them back in this game.
Handoff is going to go to via Latuligasenoa.
Number 42,
and he's going to be met just a little bit beyond the line of scrimmage for a gain of about 3. But that will do it for the first quarter.
And that's the end of the first quarter.
St. Ignatius out with a 14-0 lead early on. However, Pioneer with clearly their best drive of the evening, thanks to Zach Silva's connection to Elijah Roberts. And this is the first time that Pioneer has sniffed the red zone in this quarter. We will come back very, very shortly and bring you the second quarter of this matchup.
Here's Reynolds. Kicks the ball away. Number 32, Buda Baker takes it on his 30. Watch this guy run in the open field, and nobody's going to catch him. Buda Baker, 70 yards to the house. Bellevue on top first.
Very entertaining first quarter here as the Pioneer Mustangs have finally given their fans something to cheer for as they get their passing game working. But not before St. Ignatius, courtesy of the legs of Brian Vollard, jump out for a 2-touchdown lead. However, Pioneer is at the 17-yard line of St. Ignatius.
Aptos leads Burlingame 8-0.
And we just heard an update. Aptos leading Burlingame 8-0. This will decide the opponent for the Division III title game, as Via Latuligasenoa not able to get anything going on that drive. So 3rd and 7 as Peter Alamam is there on the tackle.
Peter Alamam with an aggressive physical tackle on that play. That's kind of the defense that St. Ignatius has established early in this game.
So officially a loss of 1. That will make it a 3rd and 8 for Pioneer. 3 receivers to Silva's left, 1 to his right. And he is in the shotgun formation. Silva takes the snap, looking towards the near sideline, and a pass goes over the head of Lewis Kaloum, and that will make it a 4th down. And I believe this will send out the field goal unit, and we will see Neri Abarca for the first time this evening.
It's got to feel disappointing for Silva, an efficient passer. Made the right decision there on his read. The open receiver was found, just unfortunately a little bit off the reach of the fingertips.
This will be about a 35-yard attempt. This was a line drive kick, but he just had enough, and that goes through the uprights. So the Pioneer Mustangs get on the board. Just under a minute into the second quarter. Still have a ways to go, however, as St. Ignatius still has a 2-score lead on them by a margin of 14-3. You are watching NFHS Network's coverage of the Central Coast Section Division III football semifinal.
Now you can watch your favorite high school sporting events wherever you are, whenever you want. Log on to our mobile website or download the NFHS Network app for iPhone and Android devices and never miss another game.
So finally something to get excited about for the Pioneer faithful. They have been waiting for something to cheer about as they were shut out in that first quarter. However, they are finally on the board here as they are ready to kick off. Philip Kern alongside my broadcast partner Joe Biagini here at Pioneer High School, where we saw the Wildcats really take control in that first quarter. We are about to see their first possession here in the second quarter. And Joe, really, what does Pioneer have to do in order to get a stop? Because right now, St. Ignatius just looks to do whatever they want. Here we see the squib kick. We'll get that thought in just a moment. It's returned by the up man. That is Freddie Gaines, and he is pushed out of bounds toward the Pioneer sideline.
Well, it's going to be tough sledding for Pioneer from here on out. Although I was going to mention that that was a huge run from Roberts at the end of the first quarter because, I know it didn't amount to a touchdown, but it was huge to not have to go into that first quarter break and sit on that 14-0, deficit without any momentum. Honestly, Pioneer's going to have to be confident in their sets and just be confident that their coach is going to make the right calls on defense.
And speaking of calls on defense, they do meet Brian Vollett right at the line of scrimmage. And that was Jeremiah Burnham leading the charge from the defensive line. Call that a gain of 1. So that will make it 2nd and 9 at St. Ignatius' own 41-yard line.
Burnham and Smith there, another aggressive tackle. That's what we're going to have to see a little bit more of for Pioneer if they want to stay in this game.
They send Elder in motion. Hagfeldt drops back to throw. He's going to look to stretch the field deep, and it's going to be caught. Danny Conte lays out and makes the big play. And St. Ignatius continuing to stretch the field. And they're going to mark him down at the 20-yard line. So call that a gain of about 49 on that one. And what a play by Danny Conte.
415 yards on the year, and there was another big chunk right there. Very coordinated to be able to, for Conte to be able to reach out over his head. Hagfeldt dropped that ball in perfectly. More good protection from the St. Ignatius line to allow Hagfeldt that opportunity.
They give the handoff back to Vollard, and he is stopped at around the 18-yard line. So unofficially a gain of 2. That will make it 2nd and 8. But if you're the Pioneer Mustangs, those big plays have to be a little bit of shot to your confidence right there, because this is not the first time they have let a St. Ignatius receiver get behind the secondary. So that has got to get patched up.
Yeah, unfortunately for Pioneer, they began to finally stop the run a little bit, and their line was making good plays, staying disciplined. Unfortunately, as soon as they do that, St. Ignatius mixes it up.
Handoff again to Vollard, and they continue to run him up the middle. He's having so much success with that. They continue to go back to that well. Makes it a 3rd and short. And St. Ignatius continues to knock on the door as they reach the Pioneer red zone.
age-old rule in football, one aspect of success for an offense will open up the areas of success in other ways. The deep pass there may have caused the linebackers of Pioneer to kind of hesitate a little bit, make sure they're not pulling a play action down, and it was more effective.
Vollard gets the handoff, and he slips right through the defense, and that will be a touchdown for St. Ignatius, a 12-yard burst, and Vollard already with his 3rd touchdown this evening.
Impressive player. I mean, the same type of play, just a dive off the guard and into the end zone, almost untouched again. I mean, his speed, once he gets through that hole and then picks it up, I mean, he sniffs the end zone. That's now 12 touchdowns on the year for Vollard. Impressive player, and I mean, first half alone.
Ferrero gets ready for the point after. The kick is on the way, and it is good. That makes it a 21-3 St. Ignatius advantage. And I think this goes without saying. There's a lot of work cut out for the Pioneer Mustangs, the number 1 seed in this Division III bracket. And right now, the Pioneer faithful is sitting in front of us, sitting here stunned, wondering what in the world's going on right now.
John Regalia came into this game with St. Ignatius being very confident in what they did. They said they weren't going to try to trick anyone. They were going to stick to what they do well, and what they do well is being done well right now. St. Ignatius has good size. They've been tested in that tough league. They've played all year in, and you can tell that they know what they want to do. They're confident about having commitment to that, and they do a good job of getting the ball quickly to their playmakers like Vollert, and allowing Hagfeldt just a little bit of time to be able to make some plays down the field. Those big plays are the things that are they're really making the difference in this game for St. Ignatius. And Pioneer had wasn't able to capitalize, but Pioneer's going to hope for a little bit of luck in the way the ball bounces of their own in the second half of this game.
Maybe that spark for Pioneer has to come from their special teams unit, as Ferrero's kick goes a little bit short. It will be fielded by Colum, but no, actually does reach the end zone, so the officials will call it a touchback. A little under 9 minutes left to go here in this first half. And Pioneer needing to whip up some quick magic here. They do have that no-huddle offense, so the tempo, like we said, will not be an issue. But right now, execution has been a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, I mean, this balanced offense that they have might have to be forced to become a little bit imbalanced here. The Pioneer offense is going to have to start taking a few chances.
Here is Silva in the shotgun. They will hand it off. Play will go to the near sideline. Some good running there by Vialetululi Sanoa. Gains about 5 or 6, so some positive yardage there for Pioneer. So officially gain of 5, which makes it 2nd and 5, and hopefully this will be the start of something here for the Mustangs.
Vialetululi Sanoa. Good job of lowering his shoulder on that last play, getting a couple extra yards after contact.
Silva to the far sideline. That is a catch, and that will be a first down.
Silva's pass complete to number 10, Elijah
and
Roberts.
That, again, is to Elijah Roberts. So one thing you can say for this Pioneer offense is that Silva to Roberts connection is working wonders right now, and it's really giving them some sign of hope that maybe they can break through to the end zone before halftime.
It's always nice to move the chains, and it seems like it's been very effective, especially when they get the ball to him quickly.
Silva, and a little bit of a close call there as that pass was intended for Colum.
Silva's pass intended for number
and that
4,
was
Louis
Julian
Colum,
Gunter,
complete.
who delivered the hit, which was a little bit close because had he hit him any sooner, that may have drawn a pass interference call.
Yeah, that was a close to being pass interference. A couple of the coaches on the Pioneer sideline had their hands raised a little bit, kind of wondering where that call was. I think the ball was just past him a little bit. Honestly, if it would have been thrown any closer to him, he probably would have had an interception.
So really a close shave either way depending on whose side you're on. Here's Silva dropping back. He feels the pressure coming. He steps up in the pocket. He's trying to look downfield, and he may have somebody. And is it a catch? They will call it as such. Great awareness there by Lewis Kaloum. Last year's sophomore of the year, showing his ability, and he moves the chains for the Mustangs. But some great escapability by Zach Silva to keep that play alive.
Good recognition by both players there to understand what they needed to do to complete that pass.
And there is a flag on the play. I think we may get an encroachment call on St. Ignatius. They are moving the ball forward, and that appears to be the case. And so that is 5 more yards for Pioneers. So they get into St. Ignatius territory for the second time this half, and that now makes it a 1st and 5.
I'm sure with Silva's experience, he knows that he can sense, the game is in the balance right now. Time to make a couple plays.
Silva steps up, going downfield for Kaloum. Not quite there. I think Kaloum was wanting a flag, and he's not going to get it. But some nice touch on that deep throw by Silva. Just had a little too much on it. But Kaloum had his man beat.
Yeah, Freddie Gaines was trying to hang on, literally. Didn't get a call there. But with a guy throwing the ball like Silva is, you got to think or suspect something's off when, he overthrows his receiver by a little bit too much with how precise he's been all year.
Little over 8 minutes left, 2nd and 5 to go. Here is the play action. Silva to the far sideline, and that was a great play action there as the throw goes to Robert Berrigan to move the chains. But you're seeing sort of some zone read elements right here in this Pioneer offense, and the fake handoff there. Silva sold it well, and that created the open space.
Julian Gunter with the stop, but not after they had gained the first down, and that was a lot of athleticism required by Silva on that play. To be able to escape the pocket, he made that tough decision to pull the ball back in, but then he was being pursued by the defensive lineman.
Man in motion now for Pioneer. The handoff is right to Vialatuli-Gasanoa, and that's a gain of about 1 or 2. They will mark this right at the St. Ignatius 35-yard line. And officially, I think that'll be a gain of 1, so call that a 2nd and 9. About 7.5 minutes to go. Pioneer continuing to up the tempo. Trying to get some points on the board here. Silva, play action, steps up in the pocket, and he's not going to escape this time. And guess who on the sack? Frank Jefferson. His 2nd sack of the half. And this already makes it a very precarious 3rd and 13 situation for Pioneer.
Silva's shown that he can move very well in the pocket, but Jefferson has done a good job of tracking him down a couple times. It's always tough when you're trying to chase the quarterback around in between linemen and can get blindsided like that. So Jefferson did a good job staying disciplined.
Silva drops back, moves up in the pocket to throw again. He's going to go deep to the end zone, and not quite there. In and out of the hands of Kaloum, and that would have gotten the Pioneer faithful up to their feet. And now it's 4th down and decision time right now for the Pioneer Mustangs. Actually, it's not much of a decision right here. They will send out the punt unit, but on 4th down, would you have gone for it in this situation?
I think it's, the score is not too close. I think the way that Pioneer is moving the ball and starting to get their momentum back in this game, I think it's still a little too early to go for it at this point. Although, got to be tempting the way they were moving the ball.
There is Hamill with the punt. Some good arc on it, but that's going to go into the end zone. Oh, what a bounce there for Pioneer. And that pins the Wildcats deep into their own territory. I think they will mark that at their own 1-yard line. So some good fortune there for the Pioneer special teams unit. And now the Wildcats offense back out in the field.
Freddie Gaines did his best fake out impression to try to throw off those Pioneer pursuers of the ball. Unfortunately for St. Ignatius, it took a nice Pioneer bounce. It was a very very skilled play to get that ball to stop right on the 1 or 2 yard line.
So they're officially going to mark it on the 3, so the Wildcats will look to go 97 yards for a touchdown. And a handoff. Trying to look at who got the carry. A little bit of a scrum there. Didn't get much, whoever that was. It was about a gain of 4.
I think that was Peter Alimam. And Pioneer defenders were taking a long time to get him on the ground because they were trying to rip the ball out, which I can't blame them at this point in the game and where their field position is. Trying to make a big play for their team and get the ball back. Try to continue to shift that momentum back in Pioneer's favor.
So 2nd and 7 right now. Hagfeldt drops back. Oh, what a great quick pass there for St. Ignatius, and that will be a first down.
Number 45. Brought down by number 7, Tyler Hamill.
And we don't even have a 45 on our official roster for St. Ignatius. So a great catch there on the quick pass by Ryan Hagfeldt. And unfortunately for us, number 45 will be a mystery.
Well, it was a good play and well designed from Hagfeldt.
Handoff goes up the middle, and that is into the reliable legs of Brian Vollert. And he will move the chains easily. They will mark that at the 40-yard line, so that will be a first down.
Vollert always falling forward, always keeping his feet moving. Seems like even after he's on the ground, he's still trying to churn forward for a couple extra yards. You can't blame him. He's gotten his opportunities and made the most of them this season.
And Hagfeldt using the hard count to try to draw Pioneer off sides. And we get a flag on the play. As the officials confer near the 40-yard line, we will determine who it was on, and it will be a false start on St. Ignatius. So, Hagfeldt trying to use the hard count, but it backfires, and it costs him 5 yards.
Pioneers got to stay disciplined in these situations. They can't try to do too much. You know, they're down, but their defense can't really do much about that except try to slow down this St. Ignatius offense. If they stay on their reads, they might be able to stop them.
1st and 15, and here is the run by Vollert, and he breaks through that Pioneer defense. It appeared they had him stopped behind the line of scrimmage, but he just continues to run tough, and that gets him into Pioneer territory. Little over 4.5 minutes left to go, and St. Ignatius really knocking on the door to really turn this into a full-fledged blowout.
Johnson and Hamill, good job on that to pursue and bring him down there. Pioneers doing a good job of staying in their lanes, but unfortunately just Vollert's doing a good job breaking through the arm tackles.
And fortunately, we have a injured St. Ignatius player down. We'll try to figure out who that is in just a moment, but we will step aside and hopefully determine who that St. Ignatius player is that's injured. And hopefully play will resume here before too long here on the NFHS Network.
you want to watch more of your school's great events like the game you're enjoying here tonight, then tell your school to sign up for the NFHS School Network broadcast program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to www.nfhsnetwork.com/SBP.
As we return to Pioneer High School, the injured St. Ignatius player was Thomas McGovern. And pleased to report to you that he was able to walk off the field okay. Hopefully he will return soon. Play resumes here as St. Ignatius is driving down the field. Hagfeldt going deep, and he is going to get his man, and that will be a touchdown for St. Ignatius. Chad Johnstone had his man beat, and he was a main target for St. Ignatius last week, and this game has officially been blown wide open.
Chad Johnstone with his 5th touchdown catch of the year. Hagfeldt with more a great amount of time in the backfield to throw that pass down the field and let that play develop. Johnstone, good job of reeling that in over his shoulder and holding on to it as he rolled into the end zone. Another big play for St. Ignatius, and that's what they've been relying on this season. I think the inconsistency of their team and their tough West Catholic League has proved that they can't rely on that, but this tonight they've definitely taken advantage of it.
Ferrero's extra point is up and good. But we've been seeing Hagfeldt with some great touch on the deep throws tonight, and quite an improvement from his outing a week ago where he only completed 8 of 24. I'd have to say the accuracy is much better this time around.
Yeah, I mean the success from Vollert and their ability to get some downhill running and blocking and the rushing side of things has definitely opened that up for Hagfeldt, and obviously you can see what kind of wonders that works for their offense. It's tough to rely on the big play for any offense, but their ability to put those plays together as they have multiple times in this game is obviously the difference in this game, and the confidence that they have to continue to call those plays, to continue to commit to the plan that they had coming in. It's definitely showing that it's paying off here. And, Pioneer could probably learn a little something from watching this tonight.
As you can see, the Pioneer cheerleaders imploring the Mustang faithful to stand for the kickoff. They haven't really had much to stand or cheer about in this first half. Maybe special teams can provide that spark. Ferrero's kick is going to be a little bit short. I think that will be fielded by Cervantes, and it is. He gets brought down just past the 21-yard line. And what's interesting for Pioneer, we actually haven't heard much from Adrian Cervantes. He actually led the team in rushing last week, but we haven't really heard much from him, and I'm wondering if there will come a point where they'll try to incorporate him more into the game plan.
Yeah, they've been going with Via Tuliga Sanoa most of the game tonight. I'm sure that they have many plays drawn up for him, but it seems like when they have had the ball, they've had to throw it in the air to Roberts.
Silva passes complete to Kaloum, and he was sandwiched between two Wildcats defenders, but they get to the 30-yard line, so call that a gain of 8. 2nd and 2 coming up. Little under 4 minutes left to go in this first half.
Another good tackle from Freddie Gaines. He's been very active in the secondary for St. Ignatius. Good pursuit from him, broken up a bunch of passes and a tough tackle there.
Silva will drop back to throw. He's going to go towards the far sideline. A flag on the play. The pass was complete to Roberts, but a flag near the line of scrimmage. My guess is this is going to be holding on Pioneer.
It's definitely in the holding area where those penalties are called. It was a positive play for Pioneer. Unfortunately, looks like it most likely is coming back.
The officials are conferring at around the 30-yard line, which was the line of scrimmage. And looks like illegal hands to the face on St. Ignatius.
Personal foul called on the Wildcats, hands to the
So
face.
personal foul is called there. So that will give Pioneer the first down, I believe. I think they may wonder if Pioneer will decline it, because that was a very nice play from Silva to Roberts, which has been a bright spot for this Pioneer offense, which really hasn't generated much else.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to have that connection, but unfortunately can't go to him every time. And I'm sure that John Regalia and their coaching staff over in St. Ignatius, with how physical this defense plays, can't always blame them for a certain type of personal foul like this. Obviously, they don't want that to continue, but the physical play is sometimes results in that. And, the way they've been playing so far in this game, I think they'll take a penalty and a 25-point lead.
And it looks like they will tack on the penalty to the end of the run. So a really big chance here for Pioneer to get into double digits before halftime. I think that would really give them a spark of momentum here, even though they will kick off to start the second half. So keep that in mind. Both teams still have 3 timeouts. Silva throws, and it is bobbled and incomplete. However, there is a flag on the play. That pass intended for Robert Berrigan. We will get the official word on the flag here in just a moment. And false start being called on the Mustangs, so back them up 5 yards. So that will be a first and 15. Actually, it will be illegal formation, I beg your pardon. So that will still create a first and 15. But you kind of get the sense that Pioneer is finding some seams here in this St. Ignatius defense. Silva in the shotgun. He's looking for Kaloum. He's got him in space. And he continues to drive into St. Ignatius territory. So they do get those yards back and then some.
Brought down by number 25, Dominic.
And that will be brought down at around the St. Ignatius 38. So a gain of 10 on that one.
Good tackle from Dominic Burke when he finally got there, but I really like that formation and the execution of that play. The receivers out ahead of the screen pass were blocking really well, a lot of room to run.
Silva drops back and goes to the underneath route and a little beyond the hands of Joe Roberts. So that would make it a 3rd and 5. The running game being rendered non-existent right now because of the deficit here that Pioneer is facing. So for the Mustangs to get back into this one, they will have to rely on the arm of Zach Silva.
Well, I can't imagine that they would really feel bad about that for as efficient as he's been this year, unfortunately in different circumstances.
Silva evades the pressure. He finds a running lane, and he's going to get the first down. So great pocket awareness there by Silva to extend the drive, as we are at around 2.5 minutes left to go here in this first half. Pioneer continuing to gain some bits of yardage at a time, and you would hope that they would get some points before half.
That may very well be the rushing attack for the remainder of this game for Pioneer. They got to rely on keeping the ball in Silva's hands as much as they can with an experience like he has.
Silva drops back, goes to the far sideline. That pass does not have enough. That was intended for Roberts, who has really been getting open in this St. Ignatius defense. So that has been a bright spot for Pioneer this evening.
Yeah, Pioneer's going to have to do a little bit better job of taking advantage and recognizing their bright spots. But it all starts with Zach Silva. I think he's the brightest so far this season for them, and he's been a consistent performer. They need to make sure that he's making the majority of decisions.
2nd and 10 now, a 3-wide set for Silva. They will go back to the running game here. That was via Latuliga Sanoa. He gains about 4 on that play. We are past the 2-minute mark here in the first half. 3rd and 7 here for Pioneer.
They must have known that we were going to be here calling this game. That's probably why they're featuring via Latuliga Sanoa.
Just rolls off the tongue. Silva drops back, 3rd and 7. He steps up in the pocket. He has an open receiver, and what a tough catch. I believe that was Kaloum who makes the play.
Number 4, Louis Cologne.
And that is confirmed there. Louis Kaloum makes the catch, and Pioneer really sniffing the end zone now. This is their first goal-to-go situation of the entire evening. And what a time for them to get it.
Silva's done a great job so far in this game of stepping up in the pocket, feeling the pressure around him, collapsing, stepped up there and put a good throw on that one.
And the handoff, and he will get to the end zone. We're still waiting for the official word. And they're going to mark him down short. And I'm not sure as to why. The handoff was to Vialatuliga-Sanoa.
Second down and goal for
And
the Mustangs.
they marked him down at the 1. Not sure as to why again. And Pioneer faithful wondering the same thing. They are belly aching over this one. I don't blame them. Here's a handoff to Vialatuliga-Sanoa. Does he break through this time? Still waiting for the official word. There it is. Touchdown, Pioneer Mustangs.
Well, they made Pioneer offense earn that one. And, they've got to be satisfied with how they move the ball. They got to help from a couple penalties. But, we wouldn't have thought from watching this game develop early that Pioneer would be the team that would be wearing down a defense. But good job of mixing up the plays there and being consistent on that drive.
Abarca's extra point is up and good. So some signs of life for this Pioneer offense. By far their best drive of the evening. And they cut the deficit to 18 points with 27 seconds left to go. And that drive was huge because they will be kicking off starting the second half after choosing to receive to open the game. But a lot of positives can be drawn from that Mustang drive primarily. Zach Silva, he was primarily the engine for that drive. Obviously finished off by Vialatuliga-Sanoa. But without the arm of Zach Silva, that drive doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, that was a very important drive for Pioneer to have any chance in the second half of this game because if they would have been stopped, early in that drive, they would have kicked the ball back to St. Ignatius with a decent amount of time on the clock, especially enough for one of those big plays. And then they would have been kicking off again at the beginning of the second half. That's just too many possessions for a high-powered St. Ignatius offense. So possibly maybe not game-changing, but game-altering drive there.
Here's Abarca's kick. It's a line drive. It's going to go to the far sideline. That is Tharp who will bring it up. And good coverage there by Pioneer
23, Xavier Tharp
to stop that, but that was kind of a weird squibber line drive type of a kick.
32,
We are about 20 seconds away from halftime. And finally some noise being brought about by the Pioneer faithful, and you can't really blame them. Not a whole lot to cheer about in this first half, but they got some life injected into them after that very methodical drive. Of course, led by quarterback Zach Silva, who has been showing some great poise, some great pocket awareness, and really putting that drive together.
Speaking of putting drives together in general, I think St. Ignatius look like in a conservative set here, but I don't blame them if they go for something.
Here is the handoff. I believe that is to Vollard, and it is, and he is just continually gashed this Pioneer offense. I wouldn't be surprised if he was at least near 150 yards before the end of this half. And we have a timeout being called by St. Ignatius, so they are definitely very confident right now in their offense, especially if you can get 10 yards a pop, as Brian Vollard has been getting so far recently.
Brian Vollard has a good running back body. He's 5'10", 195-pound senior, and can always appreciate a player that has a lot of speed who can also make those tough runs up the middle. He's able to bounce off tackles. He's able to spin. He's able to keep his feet moving. He's able to keep his center of gravity low. He's also able to kind of turn up into this next gear when he finds a little bit of a hole, and that's a great combination for a running back to have, to be able to recognize what each run is going to require. And he's done a good job of balancing himself so far in this game, as the 3 touchdowns show for that.
They will send Klein in motion. Hagfeldt rolls to his right, looking downfield, and he will go to Klein. He's got the first down and goes towards the far sideline. He will run out of bounds at around the 40-yard line of Pioneer. 6 seconds left to go.
Driven out by Eddie Smith.
And keep in mind, St. Ignatius still has 2 timeouts left. So they don't really have to go to the sidelines quite yet. They can still go towards the middle of the field and perhaps set up a field goal opportunity for Angel Ferrero. Keep in mind, he does have a range into the 40s.
Yeah,
so that is a definite fallback option for St. Ignatius if they choose to do that.
Ferrero's a great weapon, especially at times like this in the game. And if they can, click off pretty quick a developing play here, they might have enough time to get him in field goal range.
And the officials asking for some additional time to be put back on the clock. 7.5 seconds left to go. And for St. Ignatius, maybe time for one more play or 2 if they choose to go the quick strike route. Hagfeldt in the shotgun, 3 wide set. And he will drop back to throw. And the throw is over the head of Danny Conte. So 2.7 seconds left to go. So the opportunity for getting into field goal distance is all but gone. And at this point, their only shot is for Hagfeldt to take a deep shot to the end zone.
Well, the way some of their plays have resulted in scores, they haven't been too close to the red zone with all their, with most of their scores tonight. So I wouldn't be surprised if they'd be pretty confident in running something here.
Perhaps the last play of this first half. Hagfeldt will roll to his right. He is getting pressured. He's looking towards the end zone. He's going to throw it deep, and it's going to be incomplete. So great play there by the Pioneers secondary, and that will do it for the first half, but it has been all St. Ignatius in this first half as they head into the locker room with a 28-10 lead. Pioneers got a lot of work cut out for itself. We will step aside for just a moment, and we will bring you the halftime show to recap the first half. So more to come here on the NFHS Network. We are high school.
Here's Reynolds. Kicks the ball away. Number 32, Buda Baker, takes it on his 30. Watch this guy run in the open field, and nobody's going to catch him. Buda Baker, 70 yards to the house. Bellevue on top first.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
Hey, where you going? Can't get by me. I'm #1 in this class. I rule this lab. I'm #1. Hey, I don't think so. Yes! Winner! I am a king! Woo!
You wouldn't do it there. So, don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
What?
Jerk.
This stage is nowhere near Broadway, and none of these actors will be accepting an Oscar anytime soon. Still, they are rehearsing for something important. While they learn their lines, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, that everyone has a part to play. Skills that will make them stars long after the curtain falls. The National Federation of State High School Associations reminds you that when kids take part in high school activities, they get set for life. It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
Here's Reynolds. Kicks the ball away. Number 32, Buda Baker takes it on his 30. Watch this guy run in the open field, and nobody's going to catch him. Buda Baker, 70 yards to the house. Bellevue on top first.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
Hey, where you going? Can't get by me. I'm #1 in this class. I rule this lab. I'm #1. Hey, I don't think so. Yes! Winner! I am the king! Woo!
You wouldn't do it there. So, don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
What?
Jerk.
This stage is nowhere near Broadway, and none of these actors will be accepting an Oscar anytime soon. Still, they are rehearsing for something important. While they learn their lines, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, that everyone has a part to play. Skills that will make them stars long after the curtain falls. The National Federation of State High School Associations reminds you that when kids take part in high school activities, they get set for life. It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
Here's Reynolds. Kicks the ball away. Number 32, Buda Baker takes it on his 30. Watch this guy run in the open field, and nobody's going to catch him. Buda Baker, 70 yards to the house. Bellevue on top first.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
Boo! Hey, where you going? Can't get by me. I'm #1 in this class. I rule this lab. I'm #1. Hey, I don't think so. Yes! Winner! I am a king! Woo!
You wouldn't do it there. So, don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
What?
Jerk.
This stage is nowhere near Broadway, and none of these actors will be accepting an Oscar anytime soon. Still, they are rehearsing for something important. While they learn their lines, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, that everyone has a part to play. Skills that will make them stars long after the curtain falls. The National Federation of State High School Associations reminds you that when kids take part in high school activities, they get set for life. It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
Here's Reynolds. Kicks the ball away. Number 32, Buda Baker, takes it on his 30. Watch this guy run in the open field, and nobody's going to catch him. Buda Baker, 70 yards to the house. Bellevue on top first.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
Hey, where you going? Can't get by me. I'm #1 in this class. I rule this lab. I'm #1. Hey, I don't think so. Yes! Winner! I am a king! Woo!
You wouldn't do it there. So, don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
What?
Jerk.
This stage is nowhere near Broadway, and none of these actors will be accepting an Oscar anytime soon. Still, they are rehearsing for something important. While they learn their lines, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, that everyone has a part to play. Skills that will make them stars long after the curtain falls. The National Federation of State High School Associations reminds you that when kids take part in high school activities, they get set for life. It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
32, Buda Baker takes it on his 30. Watch this guy run in the open field, and nobody's going to catch him. Buda Baker, 70 yards to the house. Bellevue on top first.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
Hey, where you going? Can't get by me. I'm #1 in this class. I rule this lab. I'm #1. Hey, I don't think so. Yes! Winner! I am the king! Woo!
You wouldn't do it there. So, don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
What?
Jerk.
It's been all St. Ignatius here in this first half. And as it stands right now, unless things drastically change, they could be on their way to a 4th consecutive CCS title game appearance. And with that, we welcome you to the NFHS Network Halftime Show, powered by Play On Sports. Philip Kern alongside my broadcast partner, Joe Biagini, here at Pioneer High School in San Jose, where the Pioneer faithful really haven't had a whole lot to cheer about. However, their offense did show some signs of life towards the end of that first half with a great touchdown drive thanks to the arm of Zach Silva. But, Joe, your thoughts on this first half, because it really has been all St. Ignatius all the time. Brian Ballard, of course, with 3 touchdowns of his own volition. But really, it just seemed like the Wildcats just took control right from the second drive of the game and haven't looked back since.
Yeah, St. Ignatius has been here before. They're obviously very comfortable with, being in this situation. And they certainly know how to handle themselves. They certainly know what it takes to be effective in a game filled with a lot of pressure and a lot riding on it. It's unfortunate for Pioneer that these opportunities to play in and advance through these playoff games come so few and far between, and they've got to be disappointed with their effort in the first half. But I do understand that they're a young team. Before the game, we talked to Coach Eric Perry and talked about how they're on the young side. They're starting 3 sophomores on offense, I believe, and they have a lot to, look forward to in the coming years. And I know that what I said kind of sounds like something I would say at the end of this game, but the way the score is looking right now with St. Ignatius being able to handle their business, unless something drastically changes, this is going to be basically what it's going to be like at the end of this game. St. Ignatius is really confident in their, physical play. They understand what they need to do to get the ball quickly to their playmakers. And one of their playmakers in Hagfeldt is obviously doing a good job of being efficient with the ball and using the time in the pocket to really make good decisions and allow themselves to be in situations to put up big plays. They've really gone through this West Catholic League, and they haven't had a fantastic record, but what they have had is a lot of experience with these types of teams, knowing that they need to be very efficient, they need to be very physical, they need to be very confident in the play calling and just what they're trying to do. So I'm definitely impressed with how they've looked so far. They've had a good mix of of different types of plays, gotten the ball to their playmakers in a variety of ways. It's the classic, kind of out physical the other team, and they certainly came in here ready to play in a visiting environment.
One score we do want to update you on, and this does affect the Division III playoffs. At halftime, as of about 20 some odd minutes ago, Aptos was leading Burlingame 15-0. So if these results hold serve to this point, we could be looking at a rematch of last season's Division III title game. Of course, there is a whole half of football left to go on either side to even determine that. But just going forward, we actually saw some signs of life, of course, from Pioneer's offense towards the end of that first half. So in your eyes, what needs to be a key for Pioneer to get back into this one? Do they have to rely on the arm of Zach Silva in order to get some points racked up very quickly?
I think they do. There have only been one or two plays where their running game has really gotten the ball into open space and gotten big chunks of yards. Obviously, you never want to be one-dimensional, and Eric Perry talked about how he wanted to establish the run and make sure that his team was well-balanced today. But they were given a good idea of what that is looking like for Pioneer today against this St. Ignatius defense. And what has been successful for them is the arm of Zach Silva and his decision-making. I made a comment, I think, in the second quarter where after Silva took off for a 10-yard run, that may be kind of the transition into the running game for Pioneer for the rest of this evening. They're going to have to make good decisions when they have the ball, and they're going to have to be disciplined when they don't. And Zach Silva, I think, is the best way to allow that to happen for Pioneer.
So as we are getting set for the second half, Pioneer will kick off to start. So any momentum that they can generate is going to have to come from their defense, which has been a bit of a tall order. Brian Vollard has really had a nice game just in the first half alone, close to 150 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns for sure. And then, of course, you mentioned Ryan Hagfeldt has had a very, very efficient day throwing the football. Here is a line drive squib kick. This will roll into the hands of Xavier Tharp, and he will take it up the far sideline. And he gets brought down to just short of the 25-yard line. And, of course, we will see the Mustang defense take the field to begin this second half. So, like we were talking about, a bit of a tall order right now for this Mustang defense. Of course, they've been gashed consistently by Brian Vollard, not just up the middle, but around the outsides as well. So what will they have to do to sort of shore up that run defense? Because right now it's in tatters.
Yeah, they're going to have to stay disciplined in their lanes. They defended the run well in spurts, and Eric Perry's hopes that he'll be more effective on the
Here is a handoff around to the outside. This was not Brian Vollard. That actually will be Xavier Tharp, who actually returned that kick to begin the second half. And it really doesn't matter who they give the ball to. The running game is going so well that it keeps on moving the chains.
Play good for a gain of 11.
Yeah, Vollert's a very good up-the-middle runner. He's got the speed to the outside as well. But Tharp really showed how quickly he can and aggressively he can get to the corner and get into open space.
It's more of a split back formation as Tharp goes in motion. He will take the handoff to the outside. He's trying to get to the edge, and he does not go anywhere. In fact, he may have even lost a couple of yards. It looked like that was Tyler Hamill on the tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
There was some good blocking for St. Ignatius on that particular play, but Hamill did a really good job of fighting through it and coming down and grabbing the runner by the waist and bringing him down behind the line. Very impressive physical play for Hamill.
So 2nd and 11 for St. Ignatius. They do hand it off back to Vollard, and he gets brought down.
Brian Vollard, the ball carrier.
A couple yards past the line of scrimmage, so close to the 40-yard line. So call that a game of about 5 or so. That makes it a 3rd and 7.
This could be an important series for the Pioneer defense. They've got them in a rare 3rd and long situation. If they can stay disciplined, keep the ball in front of them, they'll have a chance to get the ball back and earn back some of that momentum.
If they could force them to miss on third down, that would be huge for them, and that may have done it right there, as Hagfeldt was not able to connect with Danny Conte, and that will send out the Wildcats punting team in a very rare appearance. So like you were mentioning, Pioneer forcing that offense out the field, a good start for the Mustang defense and something they desperately needed.
Big swing in momentum always has potential to come at the half. Both teams are able to step back and make some adjustments, and the Pioneer squad is hoping that that's exactly the case that's happening right now.
Andrew Ferrero does handle the punting duties as well, and he gets this one away. Louis Kaloum will call the fair catch, and he will get it at around the 21-yard line.
Fair catch made by Louis Cologne.
And now the Pioneer offense will take the field. And we'll see if defense feeds into offense at this point, because like we had mentioned before, Zach Silva showed some promise on that drive by guiding his Mustang teammates down the field to get that touchdown before halftime.
Well,
so there's a lot of positives there.
They're playing the Superman soundtrack right now as their offense goes onto the field, and they're going to need Silva to play like him if they want to get back into this game.
Silva, a bubble screen to Cologne, and gains about 4 yards there. He's stopped at around the 25-yard line.
I like that play, even though it didn't amount to much. I like the that Silva got the ball out quickly. The blockers were there. Cologne just had a little bit trouble with his balance trying to bring that one in.
2nd and 7 now for Pioneer. They will go with that 3-wide set. Silva very rarely takes a snap in under center. And the handoff up the middle. And that is to Villa-Latuligasanoa.
Raul Villa-Latuligasanoa, the ball
and that creates a 3rd and short. Called officially a 3rd and 2, so a gain of 5 on that play. So a bit of a running play to keep the St. Ignatius defense honest. 3rd and 2 now, 4-wide set for Pioneer. Silva in the shotgun. Drops back, a quick pass to the far sideline, and a catch by Roberts, but
Silva's pass intended for number 2, Joseph
actually that was
Roberts,
incomplete. So that squirts out, and unfortunately for Pioneer, that will bring out the punting unit. So a 3-and-out forced by this St. Ignatius defense, and the struggles for execution continue.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that play call. That was a slow developing play, kind of a pretty long pass out to the sideline, but it wasn't, forward over past the yard to gain. Kind of a tough pass to execute.
The punt away by Hamill, and that will be fair caught by Freddie Gaines.
The fair catch, 1st and 10 for the Wildcats
at their own 45-yard line, but again, a short field for St. Ignatius to work with as they begin their second possession of this third quarter. With a little under 9 minutes left to go, the Wildcats looking to put this game out of reach very early on and hopefully punch their ticket back to the Division III title game.
Yeah, we've been talking about how Pioneer needs to get back into this game, but St. Ignatius needs to stay aggressive the way they've been playing so far to put this game away.
Vollert takes the handout, trying to follow his blockers, and Pioneer clearly making some adjustments after Vollert was running through a lot of arm tackles in that first half. Does gain 3, however, but it does make it 2nd and 7 as St. Ignatius creeps towards midfield.
Zach Matar has been very active trying to stop Vollert in the Wildcat attack up the middle tonight. And he's had a tough go, but they have a lot of different looks that they use with their active offensive line to get these guys running into the hole.
Send the man in motion, and the handoff goes up the middle. The pile moves. That is Brian Vollert again. Makes it a 3rd and short as they go into Pioneer territory.
Tackle made by Aries Johnson.
Vollert's been getting a lot of help with that pile moving so much because of the size of the St. Ignatius line. They've been able to, after first contact, push out a few extra yards, and if they're able to do that on every play, it definitely adds up over the course of a game.
3rd and 2 for St. Ignatius, and Vollert just continues to consistently gain chunks of yardage in this running game. And you can really tell he's starting to wear down this Pioneer defense, and he continues to move the chains. They officially marked this at the Pioneer 40-yard line.
Yeah, this, when it gets a little bit later into the game, it's always tough for a defense to kind of, stay real active, and it's demoralizing if they, the other team is able to continue to, get large chunks of yards without much effort.
It's now 1st and 10 for St. Ignatius. They send Conti in motion. They will give him the football. Tries to find the edge to the outside. He does and gets pushed out of bounds at about the 36-yard line. We just got an update right now in the other Division III semifinal that's going on. Aptos has just extended their lead to 22-0 over Burlingame.
Play good for a gain of 4.
As they continue to march forward, and they're hoping to return to the title game themselves to defend their Division III championship from a year ago. And if all holds, they may run up against St. Ignatius once again. 2nd and 6 now. St. Ignatius from the Pioneer 36-yard line. They hand off to Vollert. He gains maybe a handful of yardage. And a positive development here for St. Ignatius, as Thomas McGovern, I'm seeing, is back in the game. So great news to see that, as he left the game early in the first half with what appeared to be a leg injury. But he is now back on the field, so great to see. 3rd and 3 now coming up for St. Ignatius.
It's a big opportunity for the Pioneer defense.
They could easily force a punt situation here if they hold. And Vollert takes the carry, and he will get another first down.
Well, Vollert's sticking it to him like he has been all night. Just knows how many yards he needs to get. Knows what type of run is required, lowers his shoulder, and just uses that momentum established by that big offensive line to get him through the hole and get the yards needed.
And he's just a tough runner, as we have seen throughout this entire game. He's been tough for Pioneer to bring down. 1st and 10 now. Play action. Hagfeldt going down the field for Conti, and it is incomplete. Conti wanted a flag on that one, but I don't see where the complaint is. He more tripped than anything else. Elijah Roberts was on the coverage, and that makes it 2nd down.
Yeah, unfortunately, they kind of had a little trip up there that caused that pass to fall harmlessly to the ground. But Dylan Elder, number 81, was wide open over the middle of the field, and I'm surprised that Hagfeldt didn't see him. He had quite a lot of time where his space was not occupied by a Pioneer defender.
2nd and 10 now for St. Ignatius. Handoff to Vollert. There is a flag on the play. Flag thrown near the line of scrimmage. This may be in the area of holding, as we wait the official call.
Flag on the play.
An illegal formation on St. Ignatius.
For a false start.
So back them up 5 yards. This will be 2nd and 15. And a couple of St. Ignatius' league mates are duking it out right now in the CCS Open Division semifinal. Right now, Bellarmine is ahead of Valley Christian 14-3 at the end of 3 quarters. They are playing on the other side of town at Independence High School.
2nd down and 15 at the 34.
The West Catholic looking to lay claim to a few titles this go-round. 2nd 15, Hagfeldt drops back, looking for Klein in the flat, and he makes a man miss, and he nearly gets back to the original line of scrimmage. But that play could have been disastrous, as Hagfeldt was getting pressured, and thankfully for him, Klein was open in the flat, but not much going, and that actually actually, that end result of that play could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, Klein had a great move there to avoid the disaster that you were talking about, but it looked like a broken play. Hagfeldt did a good job of kind of resetting himself and making that last-ditch effort to find the open receiver in the flat to at least have a chance to make something of it.
3rd and 13 now for St. Ignatius. A little under 5.5 minutes left in this third quarter. Huge opportunity for a Pioneer to put a stop to the bleeding. Hagfeldt going deep for the end zone, and it is batted away by Adrian Cervantes on that pass intended for Danny Conte. And what could be more important is that this could be just enough to maybe hold St. Ignatius to a field goal, and we will see Andrew Ferrero come out for the attempt. Based on the field marker, it looks to be a 49-yard attempt. He has hit from that range once before.
Well, we've seen his leg, and we know that he can do it. It would be pretty impressive to do it, all the way on the right hash mark there. It looks like they're actually
they are going to punt. Right. Well, Ferrero does handle both kicking and punting duties, so St. Ignatius has that. And Ferrero does get the punt away. He's going to hit off the side of his foot and takes a favorable Pioneer bounce just beyond the 10-yard line. So great effort there by the Pioneer defense to hold firm and keep the Wildcats out of the end zone. Now the big question is, can they take this drive and use this as a response to really help their defense out? Because you have to really give Pioneers defense credit on this front. They have showed a lot of improvement in really keeping the big plays to a minimum.
Well, although it's still in the third quarter, the clock is not on Pioneer's side. They need to take advantage of their quick-moving offense.
Here's an end around to Roberts, and lucky to even get back to the line of scrimmage. I don't think he even got that, so he lost about 2 yards on the play.
Stop made by Ryan Dutton.
As we have passed the 5-minute mark here in the third quarter. And as you said, Joe, time definitely not on Pioneer's side right now.
Great pursuit by Jack McKeon to turn that back inside.
And here is the handoff to the far sideline. And Via Latula Gasanoa gets dragged down. He does get back to the line of scrimmage and then some.
Tackle made by number 54, Tim Lynch.
But this still makes it a 3rd and long. And they are at the end of 3 quarters. In the other Division III game happening tonight, Burlingame still trails 22-0 to Aptos. Still a whole quarter to go, but Aptos, if it holds, will be well on their way to the Division III title game. Silva drops back, looking to the far sideline, and the catch is made. I think it'll be well short of the first down marker. We'll wait for the official spot. And the pass was complete to Roberts. However, they are going to check the official spot. Obviously, Pioneer hoping for a first down. They believe that Roberts did cross the marker. And we will wait for the official measurement from Pioneer High School. You are watching the CCS Division III semifinal on the NFHS Network.
Join the conversation, fans. The NFHS Network is on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, giving you access to the best high school sports every week. Follow the NFHS Network on your favorite social media sites to keep up with all the high school action on the NFHS Network. We are high school.
And just getting the official measurement, it appears that Pioneer is just short. So it will be 4th down. Pioneer fans trying to edge Coach Eric Perry to go for it, but being this far back in your own territory, I'm not sure if that would be the wisest idea. So they will send the punting unit out. A quick score update for you here. In the CCS Open Division semifinal, Valley Christian has really cut the lead down. 10:21 left to go. A 9-yard touchdown run by Trey McLeod. It's now 14-11 Bellarmine, so still plenty left to go on that one. And a fake punt here by Pioneer. Did they get the first down? They didn't need much.
I don't think they got much.
And it appears they were stopped just short. St. Ignatius sniffs out the fake punt. And really, that is sort of a microcosm as the kind of night it's been for Pioneer.
Well, I think I don't have a problem with that play call. Although the fact remains that Pioneer has not been able to get a lot of big chunks of yardage with their running game. They have been able to get little chunks, especially on a fake like that. But unfortunately, St. Ignatius sniffed it out and just kind of found those holes and put a stop to it. And that's a big turnaround for Pioneer with their chances for the rest of this game.
Now a short field for St. Ignatius to work with here. They do hand it off to Vollard, and he goes right up the middle, and just as he has done all night, he continues to give the Pioneer defense fits. So he continues to gash him.
John Matar with a good tackle, but not after 7 yards. Another big 7-yard gain from Vollard, just as we've come to expect to see from him every time he touches the ball.
So now this puts St. Ignatius at Pioneer's 10-yard line, a 2nd and 3 upcoming. The split back formation. They send Tharp in motion. They will give him the handoff. He tries to find the edge to the outside. Does he get to the end zone? He does. Touchdown, St. Ignatius. And the blowout is officially on.
Yeah, I mean, that not extremely out of the ordinary to expect that from St. Ignatius with only a few yards to gain to the end zone. You know, it's almost like the risk that Pioneer took was, you know, really banking on that they would make that fake punt. And unfortunately, it backfired in multiple ways for them. But that was kind of the risk that they were willing to give up there because, you know, now it's going to be real tough to get back into this game.
Ferrero lines up for the point after. Snap is down, the kick is up, and it is good. Just under 3 minutes left to go, and the St. Ignatius Wildcats have a nice cushion to work with as we are heading towards the fourth quarter, as they are ahead 35-10. And just to give you an idea of who they might be facing in the Division III title game, the Aptos Mariners, in their matchup with Burlingame, already have 222 yards rushing through 3 quarters. So just to give you an idea that is probably what will be awaiting the St. Ignatius Wildcats. Of course, that was one of the more thrilling championship matches just a year ago, with Aptos pulling out a win 41-35.
And St. Ignatius has really has earned this score tonight. They have been playing just how the score indicates. They've basically been in total control of the game the whole night tonight, and you know, really just having their way with this Pioneer defense. You know, that tough league that they've fought through this year, although haven't been extremely successful with a 2-5 league record. It's definitely challenged them, definitely caused them to grow and to, you know, firsthand figure out what works and what doesn't work for them. And you can see that translating on the field here tonight. Honestly, it's like, you know, any playoffs in any sport, the team that gets hot going into the playoffs, the team that's playing as a team, playing well, making good decisions, being efficient, and has that, you know, can manufacture that momentum, and that's what they're doing here.
Ferrero's kick, and the whistle blew before the kick even went off. There is a penalty flag right at the start, and this will go against St. Ignatius, so they will re-kick. And it is an offside call, so they will back this up. So Ferrero will have to kick again from the 35-yard line.
One of the few things that St. Ignatius hasn't had go right for them tonight.
It would be very, very difficult to find a lot of things that have gone wrong for St. Ignatius, but knowing the type of coach that John Regalia is, I'm sure he may point that out. As good of a coach as he is for manufacturing these long postseason runs, he's just done a fantastic job since taking over in his first full season in 2011, and ever since that time, this is where his preparation is really shown. So Ferrero will re-kick from his own 35-yard line. And this one will be just short of the end zone. That is Kaloum trying to return, and he runs into his own man and doesn't even get back to the 20, it looks like.
He ran into Cameron Chapman, and Chapman made a pretty good play on that. Unfortunately, on the wrong team. But that's kind of the way it's been going tonight for the Pioneer Mustangs. Just kind of tripping over their own feet a little bit. And, this, again, for these young players, get some more experience. This would be an important drive for Silva and their offense.
Silva going down the middle of the field, and nearly a great catch by Joe Roberts. Couldn't quite get up enough for it.
Silva's pass intended for Joseph Roberts.
So that will fall incomplete. 2.5 minutes left to go
On the play, Dominic Burke.
here in the third, as Dominic Burke was playing defense on that last play. I think that kind of sums up what it's been like for Pioneers offense. So much potential, and yet so many results just out of reach. Here is Silva going against the pressure. That is Colomi. Couldn't quite reel it in. I think he saw open field in front of him and was just thinking too far ahead and couldn't quite reel it in. So now it's 3rd and 10.
Colum had some room to run there. Justin Hine was there for the defense for St. Ignatius, but he was kind of turned around, and I don't know if he was going to be able to turn around and recognize the ball carrier in time for Colum to get past him. I think that might have gone for a long play.
2:30 left to go, 3rd and 10. And we have a timeout called by Pioneer, the first one they've used in this second half. 2.5 minutes left to go here in the CCS Division III football semifinal here on the NFHS Network. We are high school.
It all starts here on the NFHS Network. Tune in every week to watch the best high school action from across the country. Millions of athletes, thousands of games, one destination, the NFHS Network. We are high school.
We are high school indeed. 2.5 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. From Pioneer High School in San Jose, where it's definitely feeling like a autumn night, transitioning into winter, of course, and maybe one of the last dry days we experienced for a while, as we've been expecting some rain in our forecast over the next few days. Of course, right now, California's drought problems well documented, so we need as much rain as we can get so far. But fans enjoying the dry and cool night. Some may have already finished their Black Friday shopping. Some may just be taking a reprieve here for a few hours. As play resumes, 3rd and 10. Silva drops back, trying to evade the pressure, goes down the field, and it is intercepted by Peter Katz. And he brings it back to around the 25-yard line. A flag on the play after the whistle blows. And Silva's rough night continues. That's his 2nd interception of the evening. And it continues to be a long night for the number 1 seed.
That was quite a catch by Peter Katz. I don't believe he saw the ball all the way there. He just kind of whipped his head around. And stuck his hands out there and got it right on his fingertips. Nice little run back as well. Personal foul, though, at the end of that play for St. Ignatius.
That is a roughing the passer penalty, so nullify the interception. As that all goes for naught, so Pioneer gets a second crack at it. thanks to that St. Ignatius penalty. So, as we said, take away the interception. This will be a new set of downs for Pioneer. And a quick score update we want to pass along to you. As we mentioned, a couple of St. Ignatius' league mates, Bellarmine and Valley Christian going in, and Valley Christian is giving Bellarmine all they can handle. In fact, they've just taken the lead by a score of 18-14 with 6:40 left in their Open Division semifinals. So a lot of action going on throughout the Central Coast section, as some title game participants will be decided tonight, and some will, of course, be decided tomorrow. Hard to believe the high school football season nearly over. Silva to the near sideline, a pass complete to Roberts. And he fights through a couple of tackles and gets a couple extra yards as he's brought down to near the 40-yard line.
Silva doing a good job of staying aggressive. He was just intercepted on his last pass, but was nullified by a penalty. But Silva cannot forget all the success that he's had this season. He's going up against a tough defense, which always makes things a little more complicated, but he's a good player.
Silva to Kaloum. That will be a first down as Kaloum gets around to the Pioneer 48-yard line, so they get back to near midfield. And, of course, Pioneer hoping that they can get another touchdown before the quarter ends, as the clock will continue to run after they reset the chains. First and 10, Pioneer at their own 48-yard line. Silva with the snap. The handoff. No, it's a play action, and there is some open space to the far sideline. That was Robert Berrigan as they get the first down. And some Pioneer fans wanting a roughing the passer penalty, and they were getting very, very close to that.
Well, they've called it once. I'm sure they can call it again.
And that pass play right there has worked very well for Pioneer. I'm surprised they haven't gone to it more.
Their receivers out in the flat up in that curl route up the sideline have been open all night.
So Pioneer back into St. Ignatius territory. A little bit of a screen there. That will be a first down. And I believe that was Berrigan, and the ball comes loose. This could be a fumble. It is a fumble, actually. And St. Ignatius recovers.
Well, I was about to say that was a really great run by Robert Berrigan. Just kept his feet moving, made a couple quick moves, really quickly and aggressively got up and turned it upfield, but unfortunately just got stripped there at the end. And again, just like this game has gone for Pioneer, every time they get a little bit of momentum, it's just they find a way to let it slip.
So the second turnover of the night for Pioneer. And as you said, Robert Berrigan is the culprit on the fumble, and here comes St. Ignatius once again. A penalty flag in the backfield, as the handoff was going to Nicholas Manchero.
Number 29, Nicholas Manchero, the ball carrier.
So we may not see much of Brian Vollert for this fourth quarter, as the penalty will go against St. Ignatius. I believe that's in the area of holding, and it is as the case. So back them up 10 yards. And a quick update we want to pass along to you. Burlingame finally on the scoreboard as Avery Jindro with a 6-yard touchdown run gets Burlingame on the board. However, they still got some ground to make up. Aptos leads 22-6 with 6:38 to go in that fourth quarter. So perhaps a sliver of hope for those Burlingame Panthers. So first and 24 to go for St. Ignatius. And the run up the middle again, that is Vollert, and he continues to push the pile. And he not only gets him back to the original line of scrimmage, he gets even more. So it is second down, but a much more manageable one. And that will most likely be the last play of the third quarter, but Brian Vollert continues to run like a man among boys.
20 on the play, second down and 4.
Vollert treats a first and 24 like a first and 10, and the way he runs the ball. And again, very impressive the way he can not only decisively get to the hole, and aggressively hit it, but also keep his legs moving as he gets through there.
We are going to be transitioning to the fourth quarter here on the NFHS Network. More to come on the Central Coast Section Division III football semifinal.
This stage is nowhere near Broadway, and none of these actors will be accepting an Oscar anytime soon. Still, they are rehearsing for something important. While they learn their lines, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, that everyone has a part to play. Skills that will make them stars long after the curtain falls. The National Federation of State High School Associations reminds you that when kids take part in high school activities, they get set for life. This stage is nowhere near Broadway, and none of these actors will be accepting an Oscar.
To the fourth quarter we go here on the NFHS Network. We are high school. Central Coast Section Division III football semifinal. Well in St. Ignatius' court right now as they hand it off to Vollert to begin the fourth quarter, and he falls forward for a first down. And Brian Vollert, really the MVP of this matchup this evening. If he's not at 200 yards rushing, he's awful close.
Gain of 7 on the play.
As he gains 7 on that one, as St. Ignatius moves to close to midfield. The Wildcats content to just take their time.
Hagfeldt's job is easy right now. All they got to do is hand it to the back, Vollert, and let him get all the yards.
Here is the handoff to Tharp. He gains about 4 on that carry.
Nicholas Manchero, the ball carrier.
That's Manchero, I beg your pardon. He's been getting some run here in this drive here that started in the end of the third quarter.
Getting some run literally. And Terrell Alexander, good tackle. It's kind of been defensive backfield for Pioneers, been a little bit out of sorts, just kind of confused about what holes that St. Ignatius is going to be attacking. He made a good play there to get the stop.
St. Ignatius is in Pioneer territory, and the handoff is to Vollert again, and he continues to run through these arm tackles by Pioneer. They just can't square up to get a good hit on him, and he continues to make him pay.
Yeah, he's a big kid, and he plays small, not with his power, but his speed and quickness. And as soon as Pioneers got a beat on him, he's able to make a subtle little move to maybe not evade a tackle, but drag the defender for a few more yards after the contact.
So now 1st and 10 here for St. Ignatius. The handoff this time is to Tharp. He tries to find the edge to the outside on the near sideline, and they just continue to get some run here, and a flag comes in right at the end of the play.
It was a big hit from Joe Roberts. I don't know if they were calling it some sort of personal foul or helmet hit. I don't believe I believe he led with his shoulder. May not be of what it was, what the flag was thrown for.
And a penalty will go to St. Ignatius. The official word is a block in the back. So that nullifies the great run by Xavier Tharp and backs him up quite a ways. We'll get the official spot here in just a moment. And it appears that one of the Division I title game contenders is set. Hollister heading back there yet again as they are leading Alvarez in a rematch of last year's Division I semifinal, up 26-6 with 1:51 left to go. Hollister, a great program down the South County. They continue to make great things happen there in Hollister. Players in St. Ignatius with the ball. Hagfeldt, he's going to go deep down the middle of the field, and that one is incomplete. That one intended for Dylan Elder. Going down the middle of the field, so 2nd and 15.
Fortunately, a little bit behind Elder there. It was a well-designed play. Hagfeldt got the ball out. He had a little bit of space, but the defense, I think, from Joe Roberts closed the hole pretty quickly on that one.
A little under 10 minutes to go here in this one. St. Ignatius tightening its grip on this game with every second that ticks away on that clock. Tharp in motion. He tries to find the edge to the outside and doesn't really get a whole lot. 2, if that.
Xavier Tharp on the carry.
And it makes it a 3rd and long, which
Stop
would
made by David Gonzalez.
most likely dictate a passing situation. Of course, we will see as they line up.
Play good for a gain of 1.
So officially a gain of 1 on that sort of fly sweep
3rd down
handoff.
and
They've been
14
using
on
that
the
a little
43.
bit on occasion just to give Pioneer some different looks.
They haven't needed too much, though. I mean, honestly, their up the gut running attack has been very effective tonight. Probably have prevented them from using a lot of their playbook.
Hagfeldt will drop back. Rolling to his right. Throws to the far sideline. That pass bounces off the turf. It's incomplete. That will stop the clock at around 9 minutes left to go.
Jacob Munson defending.
Hagfeldt had a lot of time on that play yet again, but the Pioneer defense, especially in the backfield, was very disciplined to lock down any open receivers. Unfortunately, just as they're starting to gel now against the St. Ignatius team a little bit, it's coming a little bit too late in the ball game.
So now this will most likely, actually this will be a punt for the Wildcats. Ferrero is back. Snap a little low. He gets the punt away. Fair catch is called, and the bounce goes away from the end zone. And a great field there by Julian Gunter to really pin the Mustangs back to within their own 5-yard line.
Great punt from Ferrero. Just a good job recognizing, just how to put the spin on that ball to make it bounce back away from the end zone, and good placement down there, a couple yards in front of the goal line. And that's a player that may be undervalued or recognized, but somebody that can come up huge for a team in a game like they might face next week.
So officially, Pioneer will take over at their own 7-yard line. And the handoff is going to be more of an end around. And St. Ignatius had that one sniffed out. That was a play designed for Louis Colombe.
Grant Wilson made a great open field tackle on that play. There was some room there to run, but Wilson stayed disciplined and kept his feet moving and wrapped up the leg tackle.
Officially a loss of 2. That will make it a 2nd and 12. The clock continues to run. A little under 8.5 minutes left. A handoff going up the middle. And a little bit of tempers flaring up here as Louis Colombe had to be restrained there. There's the handoff to Vialatuli Gasanoa. Gets them maybe back to, it does get them back to the line of scrimmage and then some. So officially a 3rd and 6, it looks like, from their own 11. Silva drops back, looking for Colombe, and he's got him. Actually, that was Joe Roberts.
Joseph Roberts.
But that will be a 1st down. And that moves the chains. About 7.5 minutes left to go.
Play good for Mustang, 1st down.
These are still important reps for both of these teams, although the game's a little bit out of reach. These teams have an opportunity to continue to work on things, continue to try to implement new plays and opportunities for other guys to step in and make some plays here.
Silva tries to go over the middle of the field, and it is incomplete. Pass intended for Robert Berrigan, and he was harassed by a couple of St. Ignatius defenders.
That was going to be a tough one to fit in there. Peter Alamam was there yet again. There was 3 St. Ignatius defenders huddled around that ball, and Dominic Burke did a good job of sticking his hand out the last second and knocked that one away.
And we just got a final. San Benito, or also known as Hollister, heading to its 3rd straight Division I final with their 26-6 win over Alvarez. Silva drops back. He throws enough to get out of the sack, and it is complete. That is to Vialatuli Gasanoa. And he was lucky to even do that as Silva had the blitz breathing down his neck and thankfully found his security blanket outlet right there.
Good job from Silva recognizing the open receiver in the flat, the emergency receiver, but Justin Hine did a good job making sure that didn't go anywhere.
We have whistles before the ball is snapped, a flag on the play. And offsides.
Wildcats call for encroachment.
No, encroachment, I beg your pardon, on St. Ignatius. So that will be 3rd and 7 now, turns into a 3rd and 2.
Result of the penalty brings up 3rd down and 2.
Pioneer will go from their own 30-yard line. The clock continues to run. We're about 6.5 minutes left in this one. Silva, quick slant to Roberts. That is easily going to be a 1st down.
Silva's pass complete to Elijah Roberts.
And of course, the clock will stop
Tackle made by
for the
2,
chains to
Grant Wilson.
move. So it does buy Pioneer a little bit of extra time.
Gain of 6 on the play.
But in essence, it's pretty much delaying the inevitable at this
36.
point. 4 wide set now for Pioneer. Silva to the near sideline, and a catch again by Joe Roberts.
Silva's pass complete to Joseph Roberts.
And that continues to move the chains. It will be another Pioneer 1st down.
Peter Katz defending on the
Peter
play.
Katz was there on the defense. Pretty tight coverage there, but Silva made a very nice throw fitting it in there where only Roberts could catch it.
Line.
Play resumes, and the clock continues to run. Silva going to go down the middle of the field, and oh, what a catch! Essentially off the turf by Roberts, and we're going to have some flags as some pushing and shoving going back and forth between St. Ignatius and Pioneer.
Roberts and Peter Alamam kind of had some extracurriculars going there. Roberts made a fantastic catch staying with that as he was rolling over and tipping it to himself and securing it within his body. But I don't really blame Alamam for going after him because the ball was still kind of rattling around there. He was almost looked like he was just trying to make sure he didn't catch it. But earned himself a personal foul penalty because of it.
Well, tack on the penalty yardage to that great catch by Joe Roberts.
Mustangs at the 14-yard line.
And that puts Pioneer at the 14-yard line. Been a while since they've been in the St. Ignatius red zone, and here they are. Silva drops back, rolling to his right, trying to get away from the pressure, and does. They had to throw it at the feet of Robert Berrigan. So an incomplete pass, 2nd and 10 to go, a little under 6 minutes left. And an update from the CCS Open Division Final. Bellarmine has just retaken the lead. 1:51 left to go. Troy Marte with a 58-yard touchdown run. Bellarmine now ahead 21-18, 1:51 to go. So fans of both schools at Independence High School right now, site of that game, being treated to a thriller. Play resumes here at Pioneer. Silva trying to evade the pressure. He's going to create some yardage himself as he gets out of the pocket.
Stop made by Spencer Sinclair.
And he gets into inside the 10-yard line, so a 3rd down and short. So that'll be officially 3rd and 2.
Spencer Sinclair did a good job of making him get down before the yard to gain, but I'm surprised they haven't designed more quarterback runs for Silva. That's been the most effective rushing attack that they've had all game.
They send Roberts in motion. Here is the handoff, and Via Latuliga Sanoa gets absolutely nowhere, so that will create a 4th down. I think he even got knocked back a couple of yards. At this point, it's basically 4-down territory. Pioneer will simply have to go for it.
Spencer Sinclair and 2 really good tackles in a row. That one was real aggressive to stop the runner. And that's what they've been seeing all season from their physical defense.
The clock continues to run, and we have a timeout being called that will be called by Pioneer. That's their 2nd one they've used this half.
I think they had a little miscommunication with the personnel. one of the guys was running onto the field at the last second. Clearly, they didn't have enough time for that.
So a little under 5 minutes left to go here in this fourth quarter, and it looks to be all but certain that St. Ignatius will punch their ticket to the Division III title game, and it looks as if they will be going up against the Aptos Mariners. It will be a rematch of last season, as right now, with a little under 2 minutes left, Aptos is ahead of Burlingame 29-6. So, as we mentioned, they are possibly looking at a rematch of last season's Division III title game, with a lot riding on it, of course. St. Ignatius looking for their third title in 4 years. Aptos looking to defend its Division III title. And, Joe, I can tell you this much. That is going to be one heck of a title game. I had a chance to watch Aptos earlier this year. And even in their non-league game that they had where I got a chance to watch them, they run that Delaware wing tee offense to absolute perfection. They have been running over teams all season long. Of course, St. Ignatius will probably be their toughest test, but the Mariners are definitely out with something to prove.
Well, St. Ignatius got a little bit of a warm-up here with the wing tee that Pioneer runs. Maybe that'll help them to prepare for Aptos.
4th down and 5. Silva's going to try and take it himself to the end zone. And did he get in? He at least got the first down, that's for sure. And they're going to mark him short. Maybe at around the half-foot yard line. But a great play there by Zach Silva. Even if he was short of the end zone, he does get the first down.
Well, I thought he got in, but I have to say that every time he's been running the ball, it's looked pretty efficient for the Pioneer offense. I'm surprised they haven't kind of implemented more of that, maybe at the beginning of the second half.
Handoff is to Villa Tuliga Sanoa, and that will be a Pioneer Mustang touchdown. And that's his second one of the evening. And perhaps a little send-off for Zach Silva as he engineers another touchdown drive in what will most likely, what will be his final game in a Pioneer Mustang uniform, and obviously not the way he envisioned going out. But a way to get some more points on the board, as that now makes it 35-17, just over 4 minutes left to go.
Yeah, it's got to be feel pretty good for Pioneer. And it's also got to feel good for Raul Villa Letuiga Sanoa because he's really had a tough evening tonight in the trenches. Really been battling with that St. Ignatius defensive line. I'm sure he's going to be pretty sore the next couple days, but he was rewarded with a second touchdown there. It's nice to see him get rewarded for all the work he's done tonight.
Semi-final game tonight, Aptos 29, Burlingame 6.
And that Division III matchup between Aptos and Burlingame has gone final. The Mariners win 29-6 over the Burlingame Panthers in a season that looks all too familiar for Burlingame. They lost, of course, at this time last year to this same St. Ignatius squad. And, of course, they fall short again for the second year in a row in this very same round. So the Aptos Mariners await the St. Ignatius Wildcats in all certainty. Onside kick to start, and it will be recovered by Chad Johnstone. As St. Ignatius had the hands team out there to field that onside kick. And St. Ignatius can all but make their plans for the title game. So it looks to be a Aptos St. Ignatius rematch. We mentioned this a little bit earlier. I'm sure that's going to be one of the more anticipated games slated for next weekend.
That'll be an exciting matchup next weekend. Both teams very physical, very disciplined. got some high-powered offenses, and obviously an exciting game that's going to garner a lot of interest in the area.
And a handoff once again to Vollard. A penalty flag on the play.
Ryan Vollard, the ball carrier.
But nothing to take away from the effort of Brian Vollard, who has continued to really make life miserable for this Pioneer defense, and they get flagged for a face mask on top of it. So tack on some more yardage to the end of that run.
Vollard has definitely made things pretty miserable tonight for Pioneer. Another very impressive run. Broke about 7 tackles on that particular play. And, just running with more and more confidence as this game progresses. And, he's earned it for how good of a season he's had this year.
So play resumes. We're under 4 minutes left to go in this one as the temperature continues to drop here in San Jose. Vollard continues to run hard. St. Ignatius is just looking to drain the clock. And a bit of an update for you.
Number 28,
from Independence High School. Bellarmine has held on. Their defense has held tough on a Valley Christian drive. They take over its own 45 with just under a minute left to go. So another heartbreaking end for Valley Christian, if that holds up. And another handoff as a penalty flag comes in. That was Antonio Navarro, it looked like, with the carry. As we await to see what the penalty flag is about.
The ball carrier.
And actually, that was Keela Butler, I beg your pardon. The 28 looked like a 26 from our vantage point as St. Ignatius is called for a hold.
Man, we're about as far as you can be from the field where we're standing. It's been tough, especially the Pioneer numbers, similar shades on their jerseys, kind of tough to see out there. But I will say that it's a great opportunity for a lot of players from both of these teams, especially St. Ignatius, with their season continuing, to get opportunities to get other players in there, get some key reps. You can never have too many opportunities to improve your efficiency of an offense, and if you can insert other guys into the certain situations and spots, it's really important for your team to mesh and gel.
And the sweep around to Xavier Tharp. And this St. Ignatius running game just continues to run roughshod over Pioneer's defense. And all night, the Mustangs have had no answer.
Cervantes was there to make the tackle, but it was after the first down was gained. That's kind of how it's been.
Gain of 9 on the play.
Pioneer's been able to just kind of finally make their plays only after St. Ignatius has gained what they've needed. And, the big plays early, and then St. Ignatius wearing them down and holding onto the ball late has kind of been the story of this game.
And the handoff again goes up the middle. It looks to be Keela Butler again.
Number 28, Keela Butler, the ball carrier.
Goes up the middle as we approach the 2-minute mark in this one.
Gain of 2 on the play.
So that turns into a 2nd and 8 now for St. Ignatius. And I have a feeling that we are not going to see much of Brian Vollard anymore. And at this point, no real need to do that.
Or Hagfeldt, as Peter Katz in there at quarterback.
Peter Katz is in at quarterback. You are correct. And there is Butler with the handoff again. As the starters get rewarded for a job well done.
Terrell Alexander.
As we have passed the 2-minute mark, and it is all but done for this St. Ignatius team. 3rd and 5 within the Pioneer red zone. And no real effort on the part of Pioneer to stop this clock. They will continue to let it run. Man in motion for St. Ignatius. Katz will take it himself. And it looks like he will get one more first down. They get to within the 10-yard line. And I think at this point it will just be a few kneel downs and call it a night. And a great night at that for the St. Ignatius Wildcats. The bulk of the scoring came in the first half. And really after halftime, only 7 points apiece for both Pioneer and St. Ignatius. But not really a whole lot else that can be said. But St. Ignatius came out. They did what they had to do and proved themselves to be the better team. And they have earned their trip back to the Division III title game as Katz will take that kneel down.
It's got to be exciting for them to continue their, very good recent history of football at St. Ignatius High School, and they came in here and took care of business. They allowed their talent to, to rise to the top here, use their big offensive line to handle themselves, and created the result that they deserved tonight.
So that kneel down will do it. The teams will line up at the 50-yard line for their post-game handshake. And the season ends with a very, very bitter loss for the Pioneer Mustangs as the St. Ignatius Wildcats take care of business with a final of 35-17. We will step aside for just a moment, and we will bring you the post-game show to recap all the action from this evening and look ahead to the Division III title game next week. More to come on the NFHS Network. We are high school. The Central Coast Section Division III semifinal here in San Jose goes final as the St. Ignatius Wildcats have punched their ticket to the Division III championship game next week. And with that, we welcome you to the NFHS Network postgame show powered by Play On Sports. Philip Kern alongside my broadcast partner Joe Biagini here on the campus of Pioneer High School, where it was basically all St. Ignatius all the time in the first half. The defenses were the story in the second half as there only were 7 points apiece scored by each team. But really, when it came right down to it, the St. Ignatius rushing attack was just too much for Pioneer.
Yeah, St. Ignatius with their disciplined attack, they really dominated the middle of the field tonight. All of their big plays happened right up the middle and on the runs and on the passes as well. Didn't spend too much time playing around on the outside like Pioneer did. Pioneer ran into a team that was, just as, if not more physical and just as fast as them to keep them contained. St. Ignatius is a confident team. John Regala has a very smart game plan and was able to mix up the looks and keep Pioneer on their heels a little bit tonight. And, the quarterback, Hagfeldt, was very solid tonight. He didn't try to do too much, took what the defense gave him, took full advantage of the time that the St. Ignatius offensive line was giving him to make those decisions, and then made efficient and quality decisions because of that. And I was really impressed with how St. Ignatius played. They stuck to their game plan. They knew what they had to do coming in here. They were confident, and they remained that way throughout the game. And, but Pioneer definitely has a lot to build upon. They still have youth, and they still have a solid coaching staff and a game plan that they can continue to work on and implement. And it's an exciting future for them as well.
Well, even with that, it will be a bitter pill to swallow for a Pioneer team that had such great expectations. They finished number 2 in the Mount Hamilton division and really thought that they could have seized an opportunity to go on to the Division III title game. However, that was not to be at this point. So now this sets the stage for a rematch that many thought probably had an outside chance of happening when the brackets were announced. It will be a rematch between St. Ignatius and Aptos, which was one of the best championship games last season. Well, we get to relive it again. Aptos, a very, very similar team to Pioneer. So St. Ignatius will have a chance for revenge. Aptos has a chance to defend its title. So very, very highly anticipated matchup that we get to look forward to next week. I want to thank the rest of the NFHS Network crew here tonight, our producer Kevin Smith and our videographer Alex Pelfrey, and of course, my broadcast partner Joe Biagini. My name is Philip Kern. Thank you for joining us tonight. Again, your final. St. Ignatius goes on to the Division III title game with a 35-17 victory over Pioneer. And as always, have a good night, everybody.